Okay, so I'm gonna share something else from my blog. Of course, this has no title. Also, very cool looking thing here. So I think I'll like that looks better. Um, this one I think I labeled it as like thoughts and stream of consciousness. Most of my stuff is that. I format it like it's poetry, but I don't. I mean, poetry it's like kind of like jazz. Unless you're writing like a soliloquy or like a haiku, then obviously it has like a formula to it, right? But for the most part, oh my goodness, not my voice and the video. Okay, I cleared my throat and then like the video's working now. So hopefully it stays working. Um, so yeah, I'll just go ahead and read this straight up instead of giving an introduction. What did they say? What did they do? How do you believe them? What do they know? I understand if you're protecting yourself, but I wanted to ask if you'd be willing to be vulnerable with yourself, maybe me. I want you to feel safe. What can I offer? Mm, Perhaps an encouraging word, help with a task, a bad joke, or a warm hug. Why don't you give it to yourself first? Look in the mirror, a window, or a puddle. You hold your freedom. Be liberated. What did they say? What did they do? Why do you believe them? What do they know? I understand if you're protecting yourself, but I wanted to ask if you'd be willing to be vulnerable with yourself. Maybe me? I want you to feel safe. What can I offer? Perhaps an encouraging word, a help with the task, a bad joke, or a warm hug. Why don't you give it to yourself first? Look in the mirror, a window, or a puddle. You hold your freedom. Be liberated. I always read my things twice because sometimes I forget like what I wrote and I should probably reread them like before I'm gonna make the video. Um, but this one I feel that because I feel like sometimes when people tell me things, I'm like, or you feel something about someone and you're just like, what did someone tell you? And like, why the fuck, excuse me, the language, because I don't want to curse, but like, why do you believe them? Like, what's the word? Like, and I get that because there are things that I feel like I hold deep in the chambers of my mind that I probably am holding on to that I need to release. But I always feel that because certain people will just react to certain things that I'm like, bro, like who told you something, you know? And like, why do you believe them? Like, what do you think those people even know? Because as you get older, you just realize how much adults truly don't know anything. And as a child, like you put power to what an adult may have told you or said or done, or even a loved one. And it's just like, no offense, you shouldn't believe them. Like they're just regular people and like they don't know most things. And when you get to really learn people's stories, you realize the limitation of like their reality. And like that doesn't make them bad people. I mean, maybe they did something bad, but like it doesn't make them bad people. But it doesn't mean like then you form your whole life understanding about that. And we create these barriers, we create these protection things. I mean, I've done it myself. I'm speaking out of experience and it's just kinda like, when are you gonna be willing to take that step to be vulnerable with, like, at least yourself? Like, if you can't be vulnerable with another person, like, if you have to create this persona and you have to be this person, and I understand that, like, what you take in visually, audibly, all that is, like, extremely important in, like, making your mind up about a person, like, I get that, 100%. But, like, when are you gonna sit down and be vulnerable with yourself? Like, are you gonna do that? And, like, I have always enjoyed being that for someone to make them feel safe. And, like, I can't offer you, like, sage advice or whatever, like, I can try to be there, I can support you, I can help you with something, I can tell you something kinda dumb that might make you laugh, or I can offer, like, a physical, um, like a hug or like a pat, and, like, that's what I can do, like, I can try to show you love through the uncomfortableness that is to be vulnerable and, like, doing that for yourself, and sometimes I'm not good at doing it for myself, but I'm learning to do that for myself. And that's where that last part comes in. It's like, well, give it to yourself. Like, you're over here telling people what to do. And by the way, this is like all a conversation in my mind, which is kind of funny. But it's just like, look in the mirror, look into the window where you can see yourself, or like a water, where you see yourself. And it's just like, believe that for you because you are so uniquely made. You are so special. And, like, that is in science or in religion, like, there is things that are completely unique to each individual human being. It's very rare for there to be, like, a double of certain things. It just is what it is. Your experience is uniquely yours, but also, like, out of a greater experience because people can relate to you on certain things. So it's like, at the end of the day, you do hold your freedom. So be liberated because you can have a free life and your mind can be literally a jail or a trap or a cell that you are not actually liberated. You are not free versus people who can live in terrible situations that you would consider like a trap, like a hell, like a whatever. They're free because their mind is free. Now, of course, we are talking about certain things. So, I'm not talking about a lot of things, but it is really your mind. It's the whole thing of like why people stay in abusive relationships or like they accept certain abuse from people because you have created your reality to be okay with that. And, like, is it gonna be hard when you first step out? 100%. Is it hard for me to, like, try to be, like, my full authentic self, like, where I don't feel like I have to cater to everybody and how they feel and, like, be everything for everyone? Yeah, because I did that out of the goodness of my heart. I didn't do that so they would like me because most of the time they didn't. But it's like, then my freedom is based on everyone else's, and it's just like, no. If you don't wanna free yourself, if you don't wanna liberate yourself, then live in your trap. Live in your matrix, whatever you wanna call that, but I choose no. I vote no, on that, and I have made that conscious decision to want to be liberated and free because I deserve that as who God uniquely made me to be. I want to be that. That is what I want. Not something fabricated so that everybody else feels comfortable or that everybody else feels this or that I'm just so off the chain on that end that you then feel something good about yourself. I'm so tired of like having to create this persona when which you do have to do essentially at the end of the day anyways, but I want to do that. That's within the realm that is serving me, that I'm encouraging me, that I'm helping me, that I'm making myself laugh, that I'm giving myself the comfort. And of course, if to bring God into this thought is God will always allow that for you, but He can also be that through ourselves because He loves us and He is within us, so He can push that out of us through us. But it is really Him that we have to be grateful for because we are not enough. That's why we needed Jesus. That's why we need God. That's why we need the Holy Spirit. We need everyone conspiring in our favor so that we can truly feel that there is something good going on here. And like we don't have to believe all the BS that all these people told us because God already wrote the story before we were even made, before the people laid eyes on us, before they even had thoughts of us, before they were even introduced to us. We were already made with an idea, with a plot, with a beginning, middle, and end in mind and fully formed with love and care and mercy. So why not let go? And it's hard. Okay, I have problems with that too because sometimes I like my little delusion. I like my little world I created. I like my little things that I can complain about. But for what? For what? So free yourself. Let God do what God does best. Let him lead your life. Let Jesus take the wheel. Anyways, I'm gonna go because this complete computer just loves to glitch. So I feel like we're at about the good amount of time. So me and this guy, we're out. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't believe them. What did they know? And even if they knew some stuff, you have evolved so much from that moment. Believe it. I believe it. I hate that, but you know, I believe it. I believe that you have grown. I believe that you are changing. Who cares what they said? And if there's a grain of truth to it, take it, pimp it, and make it something good for you. Don't be so attacked when people tell you what's wrong with you. There are things that are wrong with us. It's very normal. We're very human. We're very unperfect. But that's kind of like the cool part is like, then we can work on things. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to take an effort, but like, let's try it. See what you can take out of it. See always what you can take out of something. That's like major key. Anyways, that's a really good thing to look into. Okay. Now I'm gonna